What to do and what not to do at a proposal walkthrough. Steve here with the Janitorial Store, the channel where we help cleaning business owners scale their businesses with systems, tools, and resources. Well, I'll tell you what, I've done a lot of proposal walkthroughs, and I've seen a lot of things going on during those walkthroughs, and in some cases, you just kind of cringe some of the things that you see. And it's typically because of the other contractor, what the other contractor's doing during the walkthrough. So here's some of the things that you do want to do. Make sure that you have a list of questions ready, and generally they may have a questions and answers session, and if that's the case, then that's a good time to ask your questions. But if you're doing a walkthrough, typically always wait till after the walkthrough, and as you're doing the walkthrough, they may answer your questions, so just check them off as they cover that topic. So that's one thing you have to do, is make sure because we've got to ask the questions, and we have to ask good questions in order to get the information that we need in order to put a proposal together. So, and the one thing that I highly recommend, the first thing we should do is, once we know where we're going to go for the walkthrough, the company and the person, do some research. Go to their website, check out their website, and if you know the person who you're going to be meeting with, go and check out their profile. They probably got a Facebook or a LinkedIn profile. Go ahead and review it. Maybe connect with them or like them or something. And that's just a good idea. It's a great way to get that relationship started right away. So go ahead and do that. Then one thing that you want to do is, when you're on the walkthrough, is just listen and take notes. I said that earlier, just take notes. But you want to listen to what they're saying. A lot of times you can pick up on some of their pet peeves. Many times when I've gone on a walkthrough, the person would say, well, the thing that they don't like is, the dust on the letter holders, or the vacuuming not being done over here, or something like that. So whenever they do that, just make sure you make note of that and put a star next to it, because that's what you want to address in your proposal. Okay? So then, another thing that going on when you're on a walkthrough, and let's say we're walking and we walk past a closed door and the person didn't go in there. Well, always ask what that is, because you have to know if you got to clean that or not. In most cases, if we walked by it and they didn't go in and give us a walkthrough, then more than likely we're not going to be cleaning it. But it's always a good idea to ask about that. And then, the other thing that you want to do is ask about the floor care, the project work. Because somebody's got to be doing it. Somebody's got to be cleaning the carpet. Somebody's got to be cleaning the upholstery. Somebody's got to be maintaining the hard floor surfaces and washing the windows. So ask. We got to know if that's part of this proposal. In some cases, it's covered, and sometimes it's not. It's like they forgot to address it. So the other thing you want to do is that ask about the restroom supplies. Do they want you to supply them to where you can supply them and resell them to that client? So ask about it. Something else you want to do is, if it hasn't been addressed, always ask when they want the proposal turned in. And do they want it emailed, or can we deliver it in person? And always, always, always turn off your cell phone when you're on a walkthrough. That's the last thing you want to do, is have your phone ring while you're in the middle of a walkthrough. It's really just it's just rude. So make sure that's turned off even before you get started. Now, some of the things that you don't want to do is don't make any comments about the building condition. Your contact person already knows this. That's why you're there. They know they're having an issue with their cleaning. That's why they called you, and that's why it's going out to bid. So don't make any comments about it. I've been on plenty of walkthroughs where I could hear people's conversations talking about how bad it was and slamming whoever was cleaning. Not very professional, so don't do it. Something else you don't want to do is don't ever wipe your hand across the surface, look at it, or make a comment. Again, that in my opinion is just unprofessional. there's no need to do that. So just don't do it. And something else, you know, don't carry on side conversations. I've been on many of the walkthroughs to where I'm hearing people in the back here talking and making comments about things, or talking about you know, the football game or whatever. You just don't do that. Again, that's not very professional. Your focus should be on that person that's doing the walkthrough for you, so you can listen to what exactly they have to say. And something else you don't ever want to do is don't interrupt the person that's doing the walkthrough. You know, if they're walking through and they're asking a question, you know, don't interrupt them. You know, you just don't want to do that. That too is kind of rude. And don't ever be late to a walkthrough. I've seen people do that. Again, you know, in some cases, I know some of the people that were putting on the walkthrough would disqualify people that were late, or some of the things that I've talked earlier where they've been rude or interrupted or had side conversations or were making comments. They would eliminate them from the bid process. So that's another good reason why you shouldn't be doing that. Now, what you always can do is, you know, I said this earlier, you know, ask your questions. Don't ask questions that have been covered already. What you want to do is that if you didn't hear it, or you're not sure if that question was answered, then just say you want to clarify this. You know, I just want to clarify, did you say, you know, this, and this? So that way there you don't look like you haven't been listening. Something else that you don't want to do is, you know, ask who and when a decision is going to be made. In some cases, like I say, that's usually laid out in an RFP. But on some small accounts, you may see that's not addressed. So that would go into your your due list, is that you do want to ask that. But just keep that in mind. So sometimes they cover it, sometimes they don't. But typically on the small accounts, there's a lot of things that they may miss on that. Something else too is that if you ever have any questions about the scope of work, you know, always ask questions about that to make sure that you're on the same page. So, well, you know, if you want, you can go to CleanSmart University. We have a video on how to measure and walk through a building, and we cover even much more, especially on the measurement side of doing a walkthrough. Because typically, once you've done the walkthrough, you've gathered your information, you made all your notes, you want to let that contact person know that you're going to go back through and measure the floor surfaces. The reason you're doing that is because, especially if you're a full service, as I said, if you're going to provide floor care services, we need to know what the square footage of the carpet is, what square footage of the hard floor is, and what type of hard floor that we have in the facility. That, you know, we have to count the panes of the windows, because we charge by the pane when we're doing windows, so we want to go through and count all the panes and see how easy they are to get access to, because then we're going to just make notes, because the harder they are to get access to, the higher the price to clean them is. So those are the things that you want to do. So check out CleanSmart University. You know, I've got in there how to measure the square foot of a circle, which can come in handy. There's been a few times where I've gone to a location where they've had a hard floor that was in a circle. So, you know, in order to measure the square footage of that, you can check out the video, and it will give you some tips on exactly how to do that. And some other odd-shaped floors. So it comes in very handy. Well, hopefully you got some value from this video, and if you did, you know, feel free to comment and leave a like. And if you haven't already, make sure that you have subscribed, and turn on the bell notifications to get the latest updates on new videos to help grow your cleaning business. Thanks for checking in today, and let's keep it clean out there.